Welcome. You're with the Nasty Pastor, and I'm back with another Our Daily Bread. You know, something to give you a little motivation, something to give you something to give you to think about. Usually, these scriptures, you read them, you wake up, you pray, you read them, you find some strength in your day with them. Not gonna do a lot of talking. Gonna get into this scripture, which our daily bread this morning comes from John 15:13-17. The title is What a Friend. As favorite backyard neighbors, my mother and Miss Sanchez were also into friendly rivals. The two competed every Monday to be the first to hang their freshly washed laundry on their outdoor clotheslines. She beat me again. My mother would say, but the next week, Mama might be first. Both enjoying their friendly weekly contest. Over 10 years of sharing a backyard alley, the two also share each other's wisdom, stories, and hope. The Bible speaks with great warmth about the virtue of such a friendship. A friend loves at all times. King Solomon observed, he also noted, the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. Our great friend is surely Jesus, urging loving friendship from his disciples. He taught them, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. The very next day, he would do just that on the cross. He also told them, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my Father I have made known to you. Then he said, this is my command, love each other. With such words, Jesus is elevating his listeners. As philosopher Nicholas Woltershoff said, from lowly humans to companions and confidants. In Christ, we learn to befriend others. What a friend to teach us such love. I say this to you, you find a lot of strength in a good friend. I say this to you, you should evaluate who is your friend. Real talk, evaluate it. You know what I mean? Look at it. I never based my friendship off of money. You know what I mean? I had perfect examples around me because there's a good 3 people I hung around. And that third person, showed me a real friendship. You got what I'm saying? It showed me a friendship at the time that everything that was provided is what I needed in my life. And that friendship, it carried on for 20 plus years. You got what I'm saying? 20 plus years, never argument, always encouragement, always being a backbone to your issues. You got what I'm saying? And being a friend, you also have to be a friend. You have to know how to be a friend to understand who's a friend. You feel me? Like when I look at the first friendship I ran into, I give it to that man. We didn't argue. You got what I'm saying? We didn't argue. We chill with each other every day. Of course, we was into some negativity, but we was there for each other. At least I felt that he was there for me, and it was a time that he proved he was there for me. You got what I'm saying? And then I say this to you also. It came a time I realized that, okay, if I looked at it one aspect of the way, I said, well, man, he ain't even really about putting money in my pocket. But as a man, why should I rely on another man to put money in my pocket? So I couldn't base him not being a friend off of that. You know what I mean? I just went in another direction, and then I looked at another aspect of it. I said, well, all we do is, do negativity stuff? What are we really, doing positive to move forward? And then I sat there and I said to myself, okay, but you keep going around this person. It doesn't make him a bad person. Look at what you're doing. So I cut that off. You got what I'm saying? Then I realized that, this man, has a drug addiction when I got off the drugs. So I said, no, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I don't even want to be around these people. I may jump in and jump out and boom and boom. And then that got to the point where I was like, no, I don't want to do that because I knew you would get weak around them. Because I've gotten weak around them before. You understand what I'm saying? There's things that went on in a relationship with a female where that I said, man, sure. And I had picked drugs back up. You got what I'm saying? I went around them. You understand what I'm saying? So I say this to you again, evaluate who you feel are friends. And then you have to evaluate your friendship that you give them. And then when I speak on the second person, I valued as a friend, it started off beautiful. You know what I mean? I liked to be around him. We was on some positive stuff, you know what I mean? We really was. We was out here working. We was out here, building each other up, looking out for each other. But what I couldn't understand about him, that when it came a time someone put something in his ear, he accused me. And I didn't like that. You got what I'm saying? And our friendship broke off. Yes, what I done to him was wrong. I shouldn't have never put my hands on him. But I will say this, he must have understood it, that what part he played, because we kept kicking it with each other. And I had came to him for some, it was a fair exchange, but I had came to him for some help one day, you know what I mean? And we still was kicking it. You feel what I'm saying? We still was kicking it after that. We weren't as close hanging out as we did, before, but he still was, he still was there. You know what I mean? He could have easily said, nah, doggone, don't even call me, don't do this, don't do that, bam, this, bam, that. Now, the third one, after all the stuff I put myself through, you got what I'm saying? Whom I pray to prepare me for this friendship that lasted 20 some years. Rest his soul. If he didn't have past, wasn't dead, we'd be together today. You got what I'm saying? It'd be the same old thing. It'd just be some more years added on to a living, alive reality. He wouldn't be, if he wasn't dead, we still be carrying on the way we used to carry on. You understand what I'm saying? So I say this to you right here, the two examples before I got with the third person, was well needed, because I knew how to be a friend to someone else. I didn't just base everything off of what you do for me. You understand what I'm saying? How about what I do for you? You feel me? So, for this daily bread to say Jesus is our friends, I get that. You got what I'm saying? I understand that. I understand you could seek friendship in Jesus. Yes, it's just a spirit. It's just a soul. It's not a physical being. But this man laid his life down for us. You feel what I'm saying? I would have laid my life down for any of them. In that time, I proved to all of them, I'm going to stand right there with you. All of them went through something where they came and got me. You feel what I'm saying? All of them. Come on, man, go with me to this dude house, blah, this blah going on. Ain't no questions asked, let's roll. The second one, all behind a woman. We beefing with this dude at the time, wasn't no killer. You got what I'm saying? But later on, became a killer. You know what I mean? And the third one, because of the way he was with women, he was very, how to say it? I want to say fluent. I want to say very, it didn't matter if that woman had a man. It just didn't. If that woman liked him, then they was gonna figure a way to creep around. And honestly speaking, yeah, I'd have busted out if I, you know, if things escalated, I'd have bust his gun. Cause I didn't carry guns, you know what I mean? I was a felon by the time me and him got back hanging around, but there was always a gun around that I knew where it was to get to. And I'm telling you, I'd have bust my gun. I would have bust his gun to take you off this earth because you're not thinking about what you're doing and you're bringing beef into our life. You got what I'm saying? And then when me and this man first started, you know, we met in the 8th grade. You got what I'm saying? And we talking about decades later, we ran back into each other. He had some turmoil going in his life with this young man that I consider family. You know what I mean? Rest the soul of this young man, brother. But his brother and I used to hang together real cool. So I was never going to let nothing happen right there. You know what I mean? They weren't going to fight. They weren't going to argue. They weren't going to do nothing. They was going to sit down as men and figure this. So I saw two sides of what I was getting into dealing with this guy named Andre Shelton that I call a real friend. You got what I'm saying? A real friend. And it was, you know, like I said, I walked in, being his friend, I walked into some BS. But I made sure to let him know, you know what I mean? I ain't letting nothing happen to you. You got what I'm saying? Whether you right or whether you wrong, I ain't letting nothing happen to you. You feel me? So basically what I'm saying to you is this right here. Yeah, he's wrong for, you know what I mean, sexing your woman, being with your woman, talking to your woman, and knowing that that woman has a man, but you ain't gonna do nothing to him. You ain't gonna do nothing to him. You got what I'm saying? Anywho, anyway, I just say this to you, you know what I mean? Figure out who's a friend. Because see, that word friend is big. You feel what I'm saying? And I had to realize what a friend means to me and what a friend meant to others and able to be a friend to others. You get what I'm saying? Anywho, anyway, you've been with the Nasty Pastor, and this has been our daily bread. I love you, and I'm out.